which we covered. Yeah.
I have like a couple little. I have several little questions from just embedded within what you just said. But one of them is that. So you mentioned that some of your work in learning how to prevent water conflicts is trying to create legal or institutional mechanisms that will help ameliorate it or prevent it altogether. And so I was wondering if there's any sort of attributes that you think would be necessary for nested institutions in order to make sure that they are functioning to prevent conflicts, as opposed to, giving, more rights to certain stakeholders or etc.
I would say that there are a couple of attributes which are attributes of preconditions if they have to work or if they have to be created and work. One is that the whole question of availability of data and information to people. Because I think very often why people are not getting an informed debate in India about water or any other similar type of issues is that people really don't get data and good quality data in terms of things. Because there are a whole lot of problems with that. One is that the way the data is collected today, they are not reliable. If you look at the way the data is being collected today, it's not. Second, this data does not become available to people. People means I'm talking about not people as in an abstract category, whether even people who are living in the villages or even civil society groups or NGOs or anybody who wants to do something along with the people in terms of planning or type of thing, you don't get access to data and things. So unless you democratize the whole question of data, and you put in systems, you get you spend money and collect good quality data through participatory mechanisms, and you have huge networks of colleges and high schools and type of thing where people can be involved, even collecting rainfall data and other type of. It doesn't need rocket science to collect this type of data. But you need an approach and an aptitude to do this type of thing. So we have been also trying to develop some models, not through forum but through other type of work, and how we can do that type of a thing. So I think one of the preconditions if this type of nested institutions or even multi-stakeholder platforms to work, if different contending people have to work, come together, discuss and debate and decide on things. I think one of the major issues which we need to tackle is the whole question of good quality data to be made available to people, either free of cost or in whatever way, so in a usable manner. The second issue is that, and also, see, there is also power relation. When you say that there are different types of stakeholders are going to come together to discuss through nested institutional framework and things. There are ordinary farmers or people who are working at that level who don't have that type of thing. I also get, government functionaries or other type of people who have got access to data. And that is also their power to some extent. So unless you create a level playing field, what you call, these things won't, there is a power relation always. We need to, you can't ignore that. So that I would say is the second type of thing, that how do you create a level play. So some of the weaker stakeholders or people who have this has to go through some type of a capacity building in type of thing so that they can engage with these issues and things. They should be exposed to different new experiences, how people have dealt with these issues elsewhere, so that they can make much more informed choices about these things. The third set of issues are related to policies. Actually, if you look at the water policies or the type of thing, you have no mandated space today for these people to come together and type of thing. Everything is decided by top type of thing. So unless you legally and politically empower these institutions, even starting from Gram Sabha, that's the village assembly or other type of a thing, who can regulate water. Now we have found that some of I'm giving you an example for a different context. In India, micro watershed development is a major thing. Basically you harvest water from a local watershed and use it for your purposes. There are very interesting villages, especially in Maharashtra has been one of the pioneering experiences. This was Anna Hazare, who is in the anti-corruption movement today. His village called Ralagan Siddhi has been one of the first pioneering examples where they have been able to create some type of prosperity through water harvesting, local type of thing. There are other villages also. But we have found that they have been able to create much more wealth or equitable development models or even sustainable use of water, especially groundwater, where the people have been able to come up with certain institutional norms in terms of how much water to use, what type of crops to be taken on that water, some type of norms around that. So, so unless villages decide is empowered to unless villages or the Gram Sabhas or the village assembly or these institutions at different scales are politically empowered to take decisions on how to allocate water, how to use it and other type of thing, probably this will be very consultative bodies. So it should be politically mandated. So this I think 3-4 things which are there, and also there should be resources available to people to meet and other type of thing if you have to create this. Otherwise, all emphasis is to create physical infrastructure.
Yeah.
But on the soft components, in terms of people's skill building, understandings, trainings, capacity building, or space and the facilities to be created for people to meet and type of thing, the government has to invest into these things. Otherwise, you have huge infrastructure today, and in Maharashtra, I think the water efficiency is about 30%, 30 to 35%, which means if you have 100 liters in the dam, by the time it comes to the crop, 70% is gone. 70 liters is gone, either through seepage and type of thing. People also don't know what type of crops can. No, there are. So this whole question of knowledge building is an important type of thing. Then the government has to invest in these things. So unless you create changes at the policy level in terms of creating spaces for mandate for this institute to function and get into allocative and various type of functions, it will work. Second, skill building and data access to things.
Yeah.
I think I would say these are the 3-4 attributes or preconditions in which, unless these are in place, I don't think any institutions will be able to work. Then we'll say participation. Participation basically means that people come and do sort of voluntary labor here and there and type of thing. No actual participation in terms of people are participating in your decisions and other type of things.
Yeah.